Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are pleased to be here at Threadgills in South Austin on Friday, the 21st day of November 2014, in our Recognized Good Legends ceremony in honor of Mr. Joseph De Leon. Before I get started talking about the program called Recognized Good Legends, and before we have Susan tell us a little bit about Joseph, and before we have Lord present the gifts, what I want to do is just take a moment to recognize some important people. First, our speaker today is Susan Hawkins, who's the Executive Director of Keep Austin Fed. Our presenter is from Staff Kitchen, where she's the Marketing Director, and that is Miss Lori Burson. We started Recognized Good a few years ago so that people could use the internet at recognizedgood.org to say thanks to friends, to family, to acquaintances, both locally and around the world. That started in 2009, and through that year we saw a number of recognitions come through that were really far and away better than others. People doing wonderful things in the community. And so in 2010, we started what we call the Recognized Good Legends program. Recognized Good is a way to say thanks, and it was the triumvirate of Tyrex, ABC Home and Commercial Services, and also the Samaritan Counseling Center got together and developed this capability. And when we saw that there was people who were doing good things in the community, we started the Recognized Good Legends in 2010. As you can see, this is our class of 2013, and we have a number of individuals. I think we have over 57 legends, 57 legends, over 47 ceremonies over the past 5 years. And so what I want to do now is get past my part and get to the really good stuff, and I asked Miss Susan Hawkins to come forward and tell us a little bit about Joseph De Leon.
Thank you. You did very well with my name. Sometimes I don't do that well. Okay, so I apologize because I'm going to be reading this because I can't go to the podium. So I apologize in advance. But anyway, I am very honored to be the Executive Director of Keep Austin Fed. I'm very honored to be honoring Joseph De Leon today. I wholeheartedly believe that there would not be a Keep Austin Fed today if it had not been for the efforts of one Joseph De Leon. Yes, there were two very, very dedicated founding members, Randy Rosen and Ira Kaplan, who had a wonderfully giving group of family and friends who all felt the same desire of helping the environment by saving surplus food and sharing it with hungry people in our community, thus making a big difference in the lives of those around them. And I am proud to say that many of them are still Keep Austin Fed volunteers. But as with every organization, people come and go. And just as Joseph was being introduced to this grassroots group called Keep Austin Fed, both of the founding members were heading out on their annual travels. Randy Rosen had already left to venture out and start other special service projects, spreading his goodwill to help others. And Ira was just embarking on his annual 4-month trip visiting friends, hiking and biking around the United States. And as it turned out, this all was happening at a very pivotal time for the grassroots Keep Austin Fed. So Ira's famous words, as he was leaving on his trip, he said, "Joseph, please be sure that this keeps going. Please be sure the bread gets picked up." And that was it. Well, I can attest, and I think we all can, that Joseph did make sure that that bread got picked up. Keep Austin Fed could have easily died off in those 4 months with the absence of its two founding members. But Joseph took the responsibility very serious. So seriously, he created a Keep Austin Fed logo to catch people's attention. And then he created a Facebook page on which to connect with people beyond the established circle of family and friends. Keep Austin Fed has grown from 2 to 10 to 200 plus registered volunteers in just 2 years' time. attracting volunteers, media focus, and business talent, the level of which is unheard of a group for this age. During this year, we have become an official 501c3 nonprofit whose mission is to share healthy nutrition with our hungry neighbors and in need by keeping the surplus out of the waste stream. In Austin, 1 in 7 people are hungry, and about 1/3 of the food is wasted. With volunteers like Joseph, Keep Austin Fed is determined to improve those numbers steadily, moving forward step by step. Joseph DeLeon is the most dedicated and unselfish person I have ever met. His dedication to the cause at hand, as well as his excellence in professionalism, is unsurpassed. He gives us his time even when he has no more to give, in order that others can get the food they need. He gives to a cause that is bigger than himself. And believe it or not, he also gives to more than one cause. Joseph is active in Compost Coalition, Funky Chicken Coop Tour, as well as the Gus Garcia Community Gardens. And I am pretty sure that there are more causes that he has just not told me about yet. And I want to also take time and thank Joseph's wife, Denise, for sharing him with us and with his other causes as well, and for being the support for Keep Austin Fed. There are so many reasons why our volunteers are so dedicated. Some volunteers because they once were those kids in line with their parents, waiting for the chance to get food. While some were the parents wondering how they were going to feed their children who were innocent to the challenge of making sure there was enough food for everyone to eat. Others simply because of their desire to give back to the community they care so much about. We are just not about the children. We are about the people, all hungry people, our hungry neighbors. We are volunteers working together in an effort to share with others the surplus food that would otherwise be tossed away. Being hungry, not having the resources to feed yourself, is not an easy badge to wear, but it's one that keeps the passion real in what we do. Our Keep Austin Fed volunteers are passionate and they are real. I am so thankful that Keep Austin Fed was left in the hands of Joseph DeLeon to be sure the bread got picked up. Because on a monthly basis, we are now giving over 20 tons of surplus food to area charities. And not just bread now, we now have a variety of fresh produce and prepared foods. By keeping this surplus food out of the waste stream, year to date, Keep Austin Fed has transported over 400,000 pounds of surplus food, provided over 500,000 meals, which has helped reduce greenhouse gases by 300,000 pounds. Through these volunteer efforts, we are fostering a true sense of community by providing an avenue for one individual or one business to be part of the solution of simply getting people fed. We are making a difference in thousands of people's lives, and we have just begun. The human fabric spirit that makes up Joseph is a spirit that seems to only feel alive if it is giving back by helping others. He is a good friend, he is giving, he is supported, and he steps out to help whenever he's needed. And I can say in a personal note that when I recently faced some unexpected life events, Joseph was there to keep the surplus food moving and to keep Austin Fed moving forward, and for that I'm forever grateful. I could not have wished for a better partner in growing Keep Austin Fed than Joseph DeLeon. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Those are terrific words and terrific thoughts. Joseph, thank you for all that you do as well. This is a special day for Joseph because we're going to give him several different gifts, but it does not stop here. What I'm going to ask you to do is to help us. In January, from January 5th to January 30th, we're going to conduct our Say Thanks Austin campaign. That's where you and people from literally around the world can say thanks to Joseph for the good things that he has done. And we'll conclude that event with a ceremony at City Hall on Friday, February 20th at 11 a.m. Hopefully, Joseph will get more thank yous than any of the other legends we have. And if that happens, we will make a pay it forward donation in his name of $10,000 to Keep Austin Fed. So I'm not going to leave you hanging out there with trying to remember this. We will be in contact with you through Joseph's personal and professional social network so that we can keep reminding folks to say thanks for everything that Joseph has done. And now let's get to the really good part. I'll ask Lori Burson to come up and say a few words, and then we'll hand out the gifts.
Can you guys hear me? Here we go. First of all, I do have a little confession to make. I'm actually not director of marketing. That is Daniel Helpman, and I'm lucky to be on the team, on a great team. And I have had the good fortune to be the one to get to interact with great companies like Keep Austin Fed. I feel that my interactions with Joseph have been, I get that feeling now of back in school when you're paired with someone and you're like, oh good, that's just who I wanted. and Joseph is that, he's that capable person. I'm gonna do this so I can, there we go. He is that capable person who keeps his eye on the goal, is unflappable and undeterred. He has been professional in every way, and he has been ever present and always follows through with everything that he lays in action. So one thing is, he doesn't see the problems, he sees the solutions. And so that's the way he's ever present, is when something happens, he's like, hey, let's do this. And it's always a great idea, and it always solves the problem. And it's just so beautiful to work with someone that way. And I have to say, it was a long time before I knew that this was a volunteer position for Joseph. So he's just super present, couldn't be more professional. And the work that Keep Austin Fed does is just a brilliant solution, and it is such a value to our community. It solves such a great problem in a beautiful way, and it really doesn't happen without people being super committed to it. And it is clear that Joseph is that, and he helps keep it going in a very big way. And we thank you very much for all your contributions. Okay, this one is a gift card for Susan from Recognize Good. And this one is for you, Joseph, from Recognize Good. This is a book of good deeds that has photos of Joseph and documents all the wonderful deeds that he's done that puts him in this position today. It's really nice. Yeah. And this is delivering remembrance of this honor of being receiving the Legend Award. This is the presentation check that you get to Keep Austin Fed. And paired with that is the negotiable.
Thank you. I had a really tough time. Well, let me back up and say I have some notes. Thank you very much. It's really kind of overwhelming to accept an honor like this. I mean, honestly, I'm just doing what I think is right. Excuse me. So, firstly, thank you to Threadgills for allowing us to be here, and of course to recognize Good for putting this event on and for recognizing the work that I've been doing for the past couple of years. And thank you to all of you who have come to share this moment with me. It means a lot that you're here. You know, what Susan said earlier about Ira telling me to make sure I picked up the bread. Wow, like that's exactly what I did, and it's funny because I'm really literal-minded, and so I was set on a task, and I have continued on trying to accomplish that task ever since. I'm often asked from a lot of people. I mean, I'm active in a lot of, really honestly, in every way that I can. I'm just service-minded, and I love to give back. That's just part of my being. But people often ask me, how do you do so much? How are you able to do all this stuff? And, you know, I often joke and say that it's because I don't watch much TV, which is true. Also because I don't have any kids, which is also true. And also because I am always on this thing, my phone. Which is also true. Technology has been one of the biggest reasons why Keep Us in Fed has been able to accelerate as quickly as we have, and also a big reason why we're able to sustain that level of work amongst a huge group of people who often don't even like talk to each other like in person. I mean, it's all, not all, but primarily message-based. So it's incredible to think about what we've been able to accomplish simply by having, you know, this sort of technology in our hands. So thank you, technology. But the truth is, the way I'm able to do all this stuff is because I care, and because I feel like it's just my duty as a human being to look after my neighbors and to be a good steward of the earth. And so that's why I garden, and thank you for that bromeliad, it's gorgeous. But you know, I garden, I'm active with composting, I have backyard chickens. I mean, I do everything that I can that I think is gonna make some measure of impact, even if it's just me, this one person doing this stuff. But that's one of the things that's so gratifying about Keep Austin Fed is the fact that it's not just me, this one person doing this good stuff. It's amplified through the actions of, you know, people like you who are also giving your time to do that same good stuff. So that is a really powerful thing to be able to be a part of. So I'd like to share with you a couple of stories about I guess to give you some more insight into why that's true about me, that I just feel like it's my duty to do these things. One is about a divorced mother of two boys who struggled really, through carrying multiple jobs at the same time, and struggling and not being able to make it, and having to move back home with her mom, and then going to a clerical trade school while working these jobs and spending time away from her boys, and that struggle and sacrifice to make it, and she did. She landed a city job, and next month she will retire from the San Antonio Police Department after 34 years of service, and she made it. And all that whole time she raised her two boys and gave us a life. That's my mom I'm talking about. And so I'm deeply grateful for the sacrifices she made, but that motivates a big part of the reason why I do this work, because I know there are a lot of people living with that same kind of insecurity, so I do it for them. Another person I want to tell you about is this 8-year-old boy back in World War II. This 8-year-old boy would shine shoes by a train depot, and when the soldiers would get off the train, he would bet them a nickel that he could guess where they came from. And the soldiers who would accept that bet, believing that he was going to tell them what location they came from, what he would say instead is, "You came from your mom." So he made a lot of money that way. This is my stepdad, my pops, Jesse, who instilled in me this really ridiculously goofy sense of humor, but also an incredibly strong work ethic. He didn't pass eighth grade, but with an 8th grade education, he was able to create a welding empire in San Antonio. He actually manufactured a huge number of restaurant equipment all throughout San Antonio. And I was raised in that environment, sweeping up the shop and sorting out metal and picking up dog poop because he had shop dogs. And it was grueling, and I felt like it was a punishment. But often he'd come around to me and he would tell me, "How do you like doing this?" And of course I hated it. And he would tell me, "Well, then you better stay in school because otherwise this is the rest of your life." And so I thank him for torturing me that way. But in all honesty, that, it showed me that hard work could accomplish a lot of really amazing things. And it also showed me to take pride in my work. And so those things are woven into the fabric of my being also. So those are the two formative moments for me. My mom and my pops, just sharing their struggles and successes to do the best for me. So I often wonder what is that moment going to be like when I feel like I made it, and so I fantasize about food waste, not much food waste. I think about gardens in the streets and chickens in every backyard, and but the reality of it is that I can't just make it on my own. I mean, I need help, and people like you actually are going to help me make it, because all of those things that we think are difficult to, eliminating food waste, I mean, it seems like such an impossible problem, or feeding every hungry person also seems like an impossible problem. But if you look at the impact that we've had in this short time, those things are doable, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share that with you, so thank you.
Joseph, we are glad and proud to welcome you to the class of 2014, be included among the legends that we have here. The first thing I'd like for you to do is present this month, Lord, official
All right. Thank you very much.
This has truly been a fun afternoon, and I need to thank Danny Jones and Tim Burt for letting us be here at Threadgills this afternoon. We will have a photo session after everything is concluded, and so I'd like to say good day, good luck, good news tomorrow, and make it a recognized good day.